Alden Wallace, and then Tim Borkowski, who's also a member of my BNI chapter. And then I also have Sean down at the end. For those of you who don't know, I'm very happy to say that I'm his father. Anyhow, I've been asked to talk about Google Apps and Google+. Now, I'm going to touch base on Google+, but one of the things you should know is Google has just announced that they're going to be changing Google+ as we know it. And I'll get into those changes a little bit. Does anybody here have a Google account currently? Okay, what type of accounts do you have? Email? What else?
Google Drive.
I'm sorry?
Drive.
Google Drive? What else?
Calendar.
Calendar? What else?
We download Sheets. Whatever.
Sheets, okay. What else?
On Chrome, so
Chrome?
they sync up the calendar.
Okay, so Chrome is Google's browser. Awesome. Anything else? Okay, great. Now those are all applications that fall under the Google Apps category, and I'm going to talk about those a little bit, but I'm also going to talk about a few other things. And, if I make any mistakes using this technology, I apologize. My laptop doesn't sync up with the equipment here, so Sean was kind enough to bring his in, and I'm not as familiar with his technology as my own, so I apologize in advance. Who can help me define Google? What is Google?
Engine.
Oh, louder?
An engine.
And search engine?
Search engine.
Okay. Everybody agree? Is there anything more to it than that?
There's a technology company.
Technology company. Well, let's see what we found online. This is from the freedictionary.com, Google, the number 10 raised to the power of 100, written out as the number 1 followed by 100 zeros. That's what the definition of Google really is, but as you mentioned, they formed a technology company and utilized that term. So, okay. How does Google make money? Well, over 90% of their revenue comes from paid advertising, utilizing not just their search engines, but advertisers that advertise with them in the way of small ads, banner ads going across the top of websites, skyscraper ads going down the side of websites, and also little box ads. There's two things that they call in their advertising. One is AdSense, and one is AdWords. AdWords is what allows you to create ads to be placed in the Google environment through all Google's partners. AdSense is if you have a website, you can sign up for AdSense, which tells Google you will allow them to put ads on your website. Why would you want Google to put ads on your website?
So that people can go to your website, people that are looking at those ads.
Okay, that's great. You get more exposure because it's on all the Google partner sites. What's another reason? What's in it for you as a business owner? I'm sorry?
I mean, you get people heading your way.
You get people heading your way. Well, the good news is you can also make some good hard cash. See, Google charges people every time they click on an ad. Okay, you've probably heard the term pay per click. Okay, they have two ways that they charge people. Every time they click or every time an ad appears somewhere, they get charged. If you host ads on your own site with Google AdSense, they will split that with you 50-50. So if somebody is paying $5 a click and they see the ad on your site and they click on it, that's $2.50 in your bank account. Now there's a caveat to that. They don't send out $2.50 checks. The minimum check that they will send you is $100. So if it takes a month or if it takes a year, eventually you'll get a check from Google once it hits that $100. It's pretty neat, isn't it? So not only do they have a lot of free things on the internet, but they like to share the wealth, which is one of the reasons I like them. Okay, this is part of, and I'm going to go through a whole list of different Google apps. Web search, going to web pages. Google Chrome was mentioned. Google Toolbar, it adds a little search box for Google right on top of your browser. Help outs, where you can get help on a variety of topics through the Google experts. Google Bookmarks. Bookmarks are really neat. You mentioned Chrome. I sync Chrome bookmarks not just to my PC at home, but to my laptop and also to my mobile devices. So I have my bookmarks with me no matter where I go. Google Mobile. Okay, you can get all these products mobile friendly on your mobile devices. Maps for mobile. I think we've all experienced Google Maps. Search for mobile, and then we already talked about Google AdWords. Google Apps for work. It's interesting, I asked who uses any of the Google apps, and I heard Gmail quite a bit. Is it a business Gmail account or a personal Gmail account?
Personal for me.
Personal, okay. Did you know that you could get a business Gmail account? I'm part of what's called the 4Digital team, and we have 4digital.com, which is actually a Google business account. So all of our email goes through Gmail. Okay. That allows me to use all their applications in connection with the 4Digital team. The cloud platform. What's the cloud?
Internet's saving, instead of the files being held on a computer, it's held in the cloud on the internet.
Okay, so
Some
one of those
server
things,
somewhere. It's
there
a
you go.
server somewhere
It's
else.
somebody else's computer, somebody's server. You're storing your information on someone else's server. The nice thing about that is, again, you can access it from any device. The other nice thing about that is it doesn't clog up and slow down your own personal computers. There's a lot of different sources out there that is cloud source. You've got the Windows, you've got the Apple devices that use it, the iCloud. Anybody here familiar with Dropbox? Okay, Dropbox is another cloud storage system. With Dropbox, you have to have that same amount of storage available on your computer because it syncs back and forth. Okay, so if you're using Dropbox, you might find your hard drive is going to get filled up very rapidly, depending on what type of information that you're actually storing. YouTube. Anybody here use YouTube? Okay, what do you use it for? Personal videos, work videos? Work videos, okay. What is the largest search engine in the world?
Google.
Google. Okay, what's the second largest search engine in the world?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, there are more searches done on YouTube than any other channel except Google.com. Now, who owns, and if you've been a part of one of my presentations before and you know this, let some of the other people answer. Who owns YouTube?
Google.
Google. Okay, so does it make sense that if you have a Google account that you also have a YouTube account? See, Google likes when you use Google Apps. And who controls today's internet? Google does. And that could change in a couple of years, who knows? When all this started way back when, the most popular one out there was, you got mail, which was AOL. Okay. And there are still a few people who use AOL. Don't run into it very often, but they are out there. Google Play. Anybody use Google Play? Google Play, you can, again, download to any of your mobile devices. You can play your own personal songs that you have. You can play your own personal videos if you like. And you can sync it with all of your different accounts. You can also do books. You can do all sorts of different things with Google Play. With their Google Books, you have the ability to actually search through the entire library that's available, and about 99% of what they have is free to download. Okay. Those that you have to pay for, it's a licensing agreement. You got to pay for them based on the author and the distribution channel. Image search, where you can search for images on the web. Does anybody know what that site is? It's google.com/images. And not only can you search for images, but you can store your images either privately or publicly. The beautiful part about that is if you're doing it on a Google platform, you get search engine optimization for the images and videos that you store. So here's what happens. Somebody's out there doing a Google search for your products. Okay? and maybe it's an attorney in Broadview Heights specializing in patents, okay, whatever the case might be. If there's a video or there's a picture, a photo or an image that has been tagged with that information, when that search result comes up, it's going to pull in the video right next to it, or it's going to pull in the image right next to it. So picture a page of results, and there's a little picture there, a little icon. According to Google, that will be clicked on 80% of the time as the first click on that search result page. That's how important videos are. That's how important images are. And you do that with Google Images, and you do that with YouTube, and of course video search. What about Picasa? Anybody ever hear of Picasa? What's Picasa?
It's basically, it's an
Gallery?
editing site.
It's an editing
Yeah,
site?
it's like where you take photos, it's like a Photoshop, it's a version of scaled down Photoshop.
Okay, and it's also where you can store pictures. It was the original online storage site for Google Images. One of the really cool things about it, it has facial recognition technology. So in my case, I do a lot of family genealogy. I've got almost 18,000 images uploaded, and instead of renaming them all, because it's only for family use, their image technology scans and gives me suggestions on who that picture might be. Here's an example. My daughter Megan, she has a cousin Mary, she has a cousin Maura. She has never met Maura. Maura lives out in Denver. As I was uploading pictures, Picasa gave me suggestions that this might be Megan Sullivan, Mary Sullivan, or Maura Sullivan. It saw the family resemblance that close. 15 years ago, we couldn't own that technology. That was all government technology. Today it's available. You know how much it costs? $0. It's free. It's all part of the Google applications. This is one that just recently got released. It's a patent search. So if you have an idea to patent something, you can actually go to google.com/patent search, and you can see if there's already a patent for that. Google Shopping is exactly that. You can go shopping, and you can use the Google tools to actually pay for your shopping. Google Finance is business info. Scholar is scholarly papers that have been published. Trends, what's happening in the recent past, what's happening currently. And why is that important when it comes to search trends? If you have a webmaster, or if you have a search engine marketing company, or if you're doing it yourself, when you follow those trends, if the trends are relevant to anything in your business, immediately adjust the keywords on your homepage and the keywords in the source code of your website to match the trending keywords that are out there based on the information you can gather from Google Trends. In doing that, let me give you an example. A couple years ago, Ford came up with this program, Cash for Clunkers. Anybody remember that? Okay. Well, every dealer in the country wanted to utilize that. We were working with a store that week, and we immediately changed his homepage to not just have all the phraseology that Ford was advertising, but we linked it to deeper and deeper pages inside his website. The first 20 results in his market area, when you search for Cash for Clunkers, were his web pages. And it happened like that. Okay, it's being able to not just make the changes on the fly, but then let Google know you made those changes. And that's where a good search engine marketing company can help you very quickly. Any questions? Google Voice. Anybody familiar with that? Okay, how do you use Google Voice?
Just a microphone button on my cell phone.
Okay.
It's a separate phone, like a business phone line. I use it.
Okay.
I have two phone numbers on my phone.
Okay.
That's right.
Same with
Yeah, I mean, that's, use it as a soft line.
Okay. What it is, for those of you who are not familiar with it, it's a free phone number that you can get locally or you can get in any market you want. So because I do a lot of mystery shopping. Mystery shopping means I check the telephone capabilities of a company that I'm going to go into, see how they answer calls. I have a Google Voice number for the markets in Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Cleveland, and a couple in New York. So when I'm mystery shopping those people, they see a local exchange on their caller ID. So Google Voice comes directly to my phone, and I use it as my primary number. I don't give anybody else my personal cell phone number at all, other than family. So if somebody wants to contact me, if I don't pick up the phone, they're going to hear, please hold while Google Voice locates your party. And what it will do is it will ring all the phones that I have set up on Google Voice to try to find me. Here's a really, really good tip. If you're going anywhere on vacation and your house is going to be empty, you can forward your home phone to your Google Voice number. So when somebody calls you and you're in California, they have no idea that your house is sitting there vacant. It's a good safety tip for you.
So you say it's free?
I'm sorry?
You can get it for free?
It's absolutely free. Now, if you want to call Europe, okay, they're starting to implement some slight charges to Europe, like 5 cents a minute.
Can you run it from your cell phone?
Yes. Now, you can set it up so you have both numbers ring to your phone, Google Voice or your cell phone number. I chose to port the Google Voice in my phone, so that's the only one that I have showing on my phone.
Do you get to pick your number or it's random?
You get to pick it within their available numbers. So you put in area code 216 and we show you what's available. Okay?
Do you know if you could put it on 2 devices? Like, I'm an eye doctor and my cell phone's on my after hours. So ideally, and I alternate with my partner. So could we have one number that alternates between the 2 phones, depending on...
And the other thing that you can do with it, you can set it up so anytime somebody leaves a message, it will send you a text message of what that is.
Or voice.
Or an email, voicemail. I have it set up to do both, and there's a reason for that. Some people like to text and text and text and text and text, and they break it up into 4 or 5 different text messages. So I'll get one text, and it's okay. I understand part of that, and then 10 minutes later I'll get page 2, and 10 minutes later I'll get page 3, where with email, by sending it to my email account, I get the entire message immediately. So I do it both ways. Sometimes the email comes in before the text. It all depends on how often you have your settings to refresh for your email. But I'm constantly refreshing my email because I live with this device basically. It also has the ability to train it so that if somebody leaves you a message and they talk very rapidly, they don't talk very distinctly, and it doesn't quite understand what it's saying, and you get a gobbledygook text or a gobbledygook message, share that with Google. And their engines will go in and they'll look at that, and it will help train the people who call you. It'll help recognize that person on an ongoing basis. It doesn't happen overnight, but I experienced that with my daughter. She talks very quickly, and as she does that, it took me about 6 months to get Google to translate her text messages and her voicemails correctly. Okay. Google Wallet. Google Wallet is just like having a credit card online, like PayPal. It's basically the same system, only by Google. Google Cloud Print. You can have a print driver on your mobile devices, on your laptops, on your home PCs, and you can print anything that's stored on the cloud using Google Print on any device. And Google Keep is save what's on your mind. If you have an idea and you don't really have time to build that idea out because you're working on a paper or you're going to work on an ad campaign, you can just save it on Google Keep and get back to it later to finish it.